everybody
to another episode of Mic in a Bottle, where we talk to this mic that's in a bottle. And earlier we were saying we have another mic today that doesn't have its own bottle, and we will not talk about that. We will keep that undiscussed.
Yeah. So like you see, it's a different bit of a different setup. We have the DSLR over here, which will be a video we can look at later and edit as we want for like small
This
clips.
one's going live.
And this one is live as we speak right now.
Today we're in a slightly different setting. We used to be in the big hangout spot over there.
Yeah.
And today we're in my office, and where we welcome Yassine.
Hey everybody.
Yassine, and tell me your last name.
Medini. Yassine
Medini.
Cool.
Okay.
Pull-up champion of Tunisia for a year or two.
2015 and 2017.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
First we have a crowd.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Hey, I am me.
Yeah. Of course, Yassine.
How you doing, Ikra?
Great.
Alright, cool. So you wanted to ask Yassine something?
Yeah, and we'll get to you in a second, Ikram. But Yassine, you have some quite impressive feats that you have accomplished. It's athletically,
I suppose to.
and you have a few records.
True. Okay.
So talk to us a little bit about first of all how you began. And how you led up to these competitions.
Achievements. Okay, so I was into sport since I was, let's say, 13 years old or 40, since I was a young teenager.
See, that's the part I'm interested in the most. Right
Okay.
off the start, like where do you think it came from? So at 13 years old, there was a point where you're like, you know what, I really want to do sports. I really want to get active or do something. How did that start?
Okay, so it didn't make any rational sense at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like in the early mid school, where let's say I found myself with a good abilities in the athletic world.
Okay. This is from PE classes and stuff?
Yeah. To make it simple, I was a good runner.
Okay.
I run a lot.
So you were
I run
fast?
fast. Yeah.
Okay.
So and then I started to watch like the parkour and the free run videos on YouTube, internet, and I really liked those stuff. Like I thought I actually want to do the flips and the front flips, the back flips, the wall flips,
Nice.
all the ips.
So
okay?
parkour was kind of like
Yeah, parkour was the first exciting thing in my athletic career. So I started like practicing it for 2 years. Then suddenly one day in the school I got in a fight.
Okay.
And I got beaten up.
Oh
wow.
wow.
So you
So
lost.
I decided to join boxing.
Oh.
Okay.
So I joined a boxing club, an MMA club, the mixed martial arts. Yeah. I trained it for 2 years,
Okay.
and they were kind of successful years. And then I came out to a point where I had to choose either to continue the MMA in a professional way or just drop out because it was getting kind of a little bit more violent than expected.
Ooh.
Okay.
So yeah.
It started to hurt.
Yeah. And every time I go back home, like with something non-functional.
You broke something.
Yeah.
Okay.
A broken nose, a blue eye.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
So I said. Like,
How about the other
hold
guys?
the fuck.
Did they go home? at
Yeah,
that too?
sure.
Of course.
It was
You're not-
mutual.
Yeah, you should have seen the other guy.
Okay, so as I told you, I was on the point of thinking, like, on the point of making a crucial decision. Meanwhile, I started to watch some street workout videos on the internet.
Uh-huh.
The same thing that happened to me with the parkour.
Uh-huh.
So eventually I decided to quit violence
Uh-huh.
and join the calisthenics movement.
And this whole time you're doing parkour?
Parkour just faded away with the
Oh, yeah?
emergence of street workout, but I still can do some moves.
Not all the stuff you used to be able to
No, yeah. Like I still got some flips
do. Do you
to
see-
impress people with, but and that's it.
Like you can do a backflip.
Yeah. Especially especially with the appearance of cliff jumping 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I got back my skills in flipping.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Do you see yourself ever getting back into serious parkour?
Nah,
Nah,
not
it's
really.
gone.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You don't want to be jumping off roofs?
I'm jumping off cliffs, and that's
That's good enough.
that's sufficient. Yeah, and it doesn't get you gains.
It doesn't?
It doesn't get you gains. So switching to street workout was a new episode of my athletic career. Let's say it was in the late 2012.
2012.
So I started like practicing and competing at local events, regional events, and eventually the national competitions came up to the show.
Okay.
The first one was in 2015. I came fourth, I think, on a national level.
What was the sport?
The street workout.
Street workout.
Yeah. the
Like,
calisthenics.
how does the competition go there? Like, do you score points for certain moves or stuff?
Okay. Yeah. It's
Okay.
basically
Like
it
gymnastics?
works this way. Yeah. It's a combination of let's say the static moves when you show your strengths and
Okay.
power, and the dynamic moves where you show all the what do we call them? The spinnings and and some of the flips.
And you got like some serious looking people going like, whoop.
No, like the judges, the judges like keep watching you, keep watching your performance, the whole
Uh-huh.
performance that lasts about 3 to 4 minutes in a
Uh-huh.
row. Then they discuss your the things that you done,
Uh-huh.
and they attribute a mark.
They give you the
Okay.
Yeah, score. So I came fourth in 2015, and then on the same year we have an event called the World Pull-Up Day. It's a worldwide event where all the countries on that day. It's usually September 14th.
Okay.
Okay. All the countries have like several events in several towns of that country where everybody are invited to try the maximum reps possible of consecutive pull-ups.
Okay.
Then we sum up the total number at the
Okay.
end of the day,
And
we
you
submit
won?
it. Yeah, and we submit it in the official site of the World Street Workout and Calisthenics Federation.
Okay.
So, in 2015, I scored the highest record,
Nice.
which was 43 consecutive reps.
Oh,
of pull-ups.
nice.
Yeah, full range of motion.
Oh, nice.
So from a dead hang.
From a dead hang to a shin above the bar. Okay.
Shin above the bar. Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did the same thing on 2017,
Okay.
and I scored 56
Oh, wow.
reps. Yeah. And meanwhile,
What's the world record for something like that?
in 2015 it was the Guinness World Record book
Uh-huh.
showed the worldwide record for the most consecutive pull-ups done within a minute.
Okay.
It was 53 reps
Within a
done
minute.
within a minute. Among of the 56 reps done by me, I had 51 done within a minute. So
Oh, shit,
technically
you're so close.
I broke it. The world record was 53 and I done 51. So I technically broke the world record of the most consecutive pull-ups done within a minute.
But wait, the record is 53. You've done 51.
Yeah, within Sorry.
Other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Other way
the
around.
opposite.
Because math wasn't working.
That's Okay, cut.
Don't worry.
The world record was 51.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I've done 53 among the
So you broke the
56.
world record.
Yeah, so technically I broke the
Holy
world
shit! Why did you
record.
call those guys Guinness?
I sent them a messenger, a messenger text.
Oh really?
But
Wow.
it was so unofficial that so not professional, unprofessional. So they didn't even
Reply.
bother to look at me. Yeah.
Look here. I
Reply.
actually wanted to ask a question since earlier, and this is a perfect point to ask it. Earlier, you looked at Kevin and you said like about the cliff jumping or about the parkour that it doesn't get you gains.
Okay.
Okay, so when I think about people that work out a lot or that engage in fitness activities pretty efficiently, like Kevin here, and you even more efficiently, I don't quite understand this world because I'm not in it. I don't have this passion specifically. So I try to understand what it's about, and I see two possible motives. So like there's people who are passionate about their hobbies, like they really like it, they fully immerse themselves in them, and it's really a passion, a life direction. And I'm not saying there's people and there's people, I think one person could have both. The second thing being that motivation to always score more, to always have a better efficiency rate, to have more muscle weight or whatever. I don't know what
the thirst of achievement,
of
competition.
achievement, right?
See?
And I guess those could be the same, like passion about that thing.
Okay.
But for you or you specifically, like where does most of the motivation come from? Is it from the fact that you really like this stuff and you just want to keep doing it no matter what comes out of it? Or is it tightly linked to this efficiency or this constantly getting better and every minute of workout that you have needs to have the most weight in terms of reward?
Okay, I think I go for the first one. Like from the beginnings.
And one second, Yassine. If I could have you move up just a little bit before you answer. Yeah. We've had a nice shot of your forearms this whole day. Yeah, there we go.
Cool, yeah, there we can see it. Yeah, we can see it.
There you go. Show the guns, baby. Alright, show the guns,
So-
and now talk about the guns.
Exactly. I really want to know. This is a very curious subject for me.
So, as I said, I really would go for the first one. Like, my number one motivation when doing sports, no matter what the kind of, is having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would do it for the love of the game. Then comes the competition and setting
Okay.
records and,
Yeah.
and achievements and so on. Because at some point you won't be able to do more or to go heavier or
Yeah. It was wobbling. The microphone was wobbling. And I'm not sure what that's doing to the audio.
We'll find out.
That's my first podcast and I'm already causing some damage.
Oh, no, it's
No,
fine.
no, you're good. You're good.
You said to go. No
So,
problem.
as I said, at some point you won't be able to make noticeable progress or achievement. So, what would you do in that situation? Like, you
Right.
quit just for the fact that you didn't do better than the last session or
Right,
or day.
Uh-huh.
So, the main, at least my personal main point from doing this is having fun. releasing some good neurotransmitters and hormones and all those shit, and releasing some stress and having fun and socializing with other people, with the community.
Who share the same
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah. Then comes the events and the competition.
Would you say it's the same for you? We're not talking about competitions, but I know you
Yeah.
give a lot of importance to numbers and like upgrade or improvement.
Improvement, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, mine is different from Yassine. My relationship with the fitness world started out of fear. When I was much younger, I've mentioned this to you before, that my family went through, like, my whole family, my mother, my father, my brother, and my sister, all at one time had like serious weight issues. Like, we're talking about obesity type of issues. And so, as a kid growing up seeing all this stuff, you're like, damn, is this in my future kind of thing? Like, as a kid, you don't really know. We don't have the information available.
Yeah, also, those are the closest people surrounded you, so the most similar to you in your mind.
Yeah.
So you get that fear. It's normal.
Yeah. So I grew up scared, and I had my cousins sometimes would joke with me. It's like, "Oh, you fat yet?" Like when they didn't see me for months. So it's like
that left a mark.
Oh man, yeah. Obviously, I'm 35 and I still remember this shit, right? So it really did start from fear, and I basically made a commitment with myself when I was pretty young to say that, like, fitness, staying physically able, is something I want to do, right? Like, I see the pain of inactivity and the pain of people who, my family, who didn't do much, like just sitting and not much movement. There's a common story in America, actually. And when I first went to China, I didn't, like, these ideas weren't that formed in my head, right? Like, I would just make sure I'm playing ball every once in a while, like working out. We worked out sometimes.
So it was like a box you had to check.
Yeah.
Right? Like it had to be checked on a daily basis or almost daily basis.
At that time, not so much, but I knew, like, I have to stay active. There's always like this thing in the back of my head.
Like, how long would be the longest time you'd go without working out around those times?
Maybe it depends on what we're doing. Like, sometimes we travel and stuff like that. Like, obviously I'm not working out, so like I would say weeks at a time.
Okay.
Max, right? Otherwise, I'm always active in some kind of way. Right. And then it really ramped up when I went to California. Like, also in part, like, I played a lot of video games when I was a kid. So that kind of gave me bad hip mobility. I talked to you about that. And I hurt my back really badly in 2016 doing CrossFit, actually. And I rehabbed it through yoga.
Okay.
Just slow and steady, painful type of progression. Like, I ruptured a disc in my back, right? Anyway, so, and I read a couple books along the way. Like, then social media really started coming around. When I really hurt myself, that's when I focused on nutrition, actually.
Okay.
Because I was like, man, if I can't work, like, it was about a year and a half I couldn't work out steadily.
It seems like it's like pretty much focused on improvement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, so I feel like I'm in this lifelong, like, battle to improve myself.
Okay.
Right? Like, because I, like, just like you saw those parkour videos, that shit looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
Most recently, I've been into, like, more body weight stuff and trying to reap the benefits of using your body weight to improve your overall strength.
But you'd say, like, as opposed to Yassine, that yours is more focused on improvement than the passion itself.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
That's really interesting to see. I mean, you two have like this shared point where you both go towards like good exercise and regular exercise and efficiency, but you're each doing it for a different type of motivation. Both of which are like valid and definitely part of like the story of your life, and they each like participate in your lives like differently, but at the same time you have this like really common area where a lot of both of your passions like come into the same place and become like part of the same activities.
Exactly, and I like what Yassine said about the community, because most people who like are deep into working out, they're like really fun people to be around.
Yeah. This makes me think about like other types of of passions, other types of motivations for certain passions, and how like people can connect in the middle, in that middle area where
Find common ground.
yeah, like I don't know, you're someone who's really into writing, and you find someone who just does it for a job or for a certain kind of achievement at the end of it.
Yeah.
And in the middle, you find yourselves interested in very similar topics. One of you is doing it for the passion, because like I fucking love writing. I just sit down and look at this interesting new concept of writing. Let me try that out.
Yeah.
And then this other person is doing it for, I don't know, professional reasons or career reasons,
Yeah.
and they find like this common ground, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and maybe some are doing it from the fact of obligation.
Right.
Yeah. So like I recently discovered that if I wouldn't be that athletic, I wouldn't stand up along with my lifestyle. Like I'm a camper and a hiker. So if I didn't like squat all the time or bench it or deadlift it, I wouldn't be able to climb the hills I wanna climb, or to travel the distances I wanna travel, like with hiking and backpacking,
Okay.
and so on. So it
It supports your life choices.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I mean,
Working out in general.
yeah,
right?
for sure. This is one of those passions that has very good usability.
Yeah.
Like you use it every day for everything,
Mhm.
right? It's not the same as writing or photography.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
very different in terms of fashion. But that's like I find like it's a superpower that if you're able to really have that kind of discipline, because this to be done well, what you guys do, the main component is discipline. This
Yeah.
shit happens over time and it needs maintenance.
Yeah.
And like in the case of improvement, it becomes like analysis and calculation of your progress.
Yeah.
So discipline is like paramount to this thing. However, like if I don't use my camera for like I don't know, like 2 years, I'll still be pretty good at it, and I'll still be able to like
Understand the basics. Yeah.
right, like I don't have to be disciplined about it. So I never had something like this that taught me discipline. However, I'm good at other things.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah, but in the end of the day, it goes down to like the passion. You gotta find that passion, whatever it's at.
yeah.
You know, the passion and commitment has to make kind of like a marriage, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, with a lot of these type of things that require.
What, are we hitting the deadline?
No, it's Coach calling.
Okay. No.
Yeah, one came back later.
But let's ask Ikram about. Hi, Ikram. I didn't feel you had much to say about the topic of fitness.
Yeah, I'm not very athletic.
Yeah, me neither.
But I like walking and hiking when I have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing super professional.
I also like seeing people doing push-ups and pull-ups and being like, let me try.
Yeah.
I do like 3, and I'm like, see, fucking 3. I can do it. So I'm not very involved like you. So
Yeah.
what's like a passion of yours that gives you this type of satisfaction, or just the passion itself?
Learning how to paint and draw.
Yeah, that's what's happening right now. You're taking
Yes.
some classes.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, and it actually has taught me commitment and discipline, because you, as Kevin said, and you said that like passions can make you more committed or more disciplined, and some types of hobbies or passion like require super discipline.
Yeah.
And like painting and drawing is like are part of this type of hobbies, because in order like to reach a certain level, to like refine your skills, specifically technical
Yeah, yeah,
skills,
yeah.
you need to be you need to have that discipline,
Yeah.
and you need to learn about like the rules. I won't say rules, but like some acquire some knowledge about
Yeah.
like painting or
to
drawing,
maintain
like
your skill,
the,
right?
the basic principles.
Yeah.
And you need to paint or draw on a regular basis,
Yeah.
so you can like
To make it like a reflex to
Yes,
draw good things.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense.
And like for example, my teacher, when she checks someone is work, she knows like, oh, you have been practicing. You did not practice from the lines and the shapes and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that's also very deeply linked with discipline.
Mhm.
I really suck at discipline. Like I have tried to learn the guitar for like I think 4 or 5 times separately. Each time like lasting almost a month.
Yeah.
And I make some progress and then I lose it all. And yesterday I took it on again and I'm gonna try again this
Yeah.
time.
But the question is,
Yes.
what's the reason?
Yeah, I was going to ask
The
same
reason
question.
is because I love being able to create things. Like so far, like I haven't really quite had that ability in the artistic sense, or in something that's just like enjoyable for the sake of being enjoyable, like
Yeah.
music, for example.
Yeah.
Right. So like I when I play some very basic stuff on the guitar, I feel like a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like I really want to be able to like do my favorite songs and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then like the learning takes this huge amount of discipline that I know
Time.
I will have trouble with. And I
Yeah.
try every time and I try every time. And like I know I'm not a disciplined person, so it takes a lot of effort. All my passions in life don't really require discipline. So it's something I really want to learn. And
I don't know. I'll counter you on that because everything that you've managed to do with Google Sheets, coding,
uh-huh.
you tell me that doesn't take discipline?
No,
Yeah, it
not
does.
really.
It
Not
does,
really.
I think it
I mean, I've learned all of these things at my own pace, and you know about like how I overworked myself like a year ago, and
Yeah.
like I was not having any regular timing or any specific set of rules to adhere to keep this going. It was just I needed something done. I would spend 5 days without sleeping on it to get it fucking done, and then I would do nothing for 2-3 months, and then I have another thing I need done, and same shit again.
Mhm.
And through that, obviously, there is some learning that's happening,
Yeah.
but it never required discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only thing I'm disciplined about is my morning walk, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, just tell us more about your morning walks with the dog.
Ikram did it with me this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, this morning.
Yeah.
My
Really?
first time.
Okay.
My
So?
first time to go and watch the sunrise.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So
if
that's
we-
something that's like happened last year. It started last year during the pandemic.
Okay.
It was right after I overworked myself, as I mentioned, and then I got bit by a giant dog, and I had to have 2 surgeries. And the next 2 weeks, I was like full of like tranquilizer drugs for the pain, and like I had a lot of me time to think about stuff. So I knew that waking up in the morning would present a lot of advantages to me and the dogs.
Okay.
And those are my 2 main priorities, me and the dogs. And so I started waking up early a couple of times, and I really liked what I was seeing outside, how I felt outside. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to never ever stop doing this. Obviously nowadays sometimes I wake up late, sometimes some shit happens, and I don't go every single day. But I think I've got like a 95% rate of going. And that's one thing where I'm kind of proud of myself for like having that bit of discipline in that. But I wasn't able to export it to anything else.
You said that you have a need to create
Yes.
things. Have you thought maybe your problem with not like mastering the guitar or like learning the guitar, that maybe it's not the thing that will satisfy your need for creation? Maybe you have like other hobbies or passion you may have and will satisfy your need for creating things artistically.
I tried several things, and I know that every time the problem is discipline at the end, because I tried creating music also with the computer, and it took me like a month, and I was getting better through that month, and I gained some skill, and then I was like, I have to put like an hour of this.
Maybe you are more creative business-wise, entrepreneurship-wise, and not
Sure.
artistically.
Sure.
This
sure.
is why you find yourself more committed to do things related to, for example, homeschool, and not things for like art, music, or maybe writing or other things.
Yeah. I mean, it could still be that I haven't found the thing, but I really like guitar, and I know that if I have it, I'll have a big plus with the girls. So, like,
The only motivation here is
no, that's one of the many motivations. The other one is to play Super Mario whenever I want.
Oh,
Like, you know. That I really want to be able to play that. I started learning piano also like 10 years ago for like 2 months. I bought a keyboard and I did Super Mario. And I was like, alright, done.
for how long you tried to play the guitar? Like, also 2 months or like?
I've been trying to do it regularly every couple of years. And every time I last like 1-2 months.
Yeah, this is the problem, that you give yourself 1 or 2 months.
I don't give myself.
You
it's
don't give
tough.
yourself time? I advise you to give yourself time. This is what I am doing with the painting.
But that's discipline.
That goes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That
it's
goes
like-
back to the
Exactly,
discipline.
Okay.
He's like, I don't do that.
I know.
Yeah, but you know, I couldn't help. You know, one thing I think is really powerful in every human is how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you mentioned it, discipline, when the word came up, you always tell yourself you don't have it.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
You
That's
know,
true.
a baby's not
Affects
born
your-
with
yeah.
discipline. You know what I mean? Like this is something that's cultivated, and this is something you have to actively think about when
I know,
nobody's
yeah.
watching, right? Like, and
Isn't it like sheer force of will at the end of the day?
yeah,
That's what discipline is.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
like being sleepy in the morning and like your brain is telling you, hey, you could just put it up for later. You could just put it up for later. You just sleep a little bit more.
yeah.
But your force of will is like, shut the fuck up. I'm waking up for now. Like, there's no play in here.
Yeah.
That's discipline for me.
Yeah, well, you know, and then there's like DNA. It varies on everybody,
What's
right?
DNA?
Like,
Oh, DNA.
like your DNA, right?
I
Like,
heard about it.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, for some reason, like, it goes back to a lot of people I've met in my life. Like, some people, for me, I've always had this, I don't know if it's a blessing or from somehow, like, when the, like, alarm goes off, I'm up like a light. I get a shot of adrenaline. Like
And there's no sleeping after
something's
that.
wrong. It's impossible for me, right? Like, so what am I gonna do? Sit in the bed? So let me just go up and do whatever the hell I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And when you wake up, it's strong. It has a strong relationship with when you go to sleep,
Okay.
right? So if you make it a point to go to sleep at the right time, then you're probably gonna be okay. Your body will tell you when it's time to wake up,
Yeah.
right? And so, but some people I've met, on the other hand, like you like disciplined people, like they need like a bat to
Back to the head.
to wake their ass up. Yeah, like you'd move them, and so I was like, how can you be moved by somebody and not wake up?
That's really bad for prey.
Yeah, that's survival skills right there.
It's like you wake up in the middle of being eaten.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
Yeah.
something's happening.
You know, but I mean, like, there's a whole, like, you could probably have a story on why we turned into this, you know, as people. But in the end of the day, there's people who are very easy to wake up. Like my whole family, I feel is like this.
Oh, yeah?
My brother wakes up very easily. My sister, like my mom, like you don't need much to wake anybody in my family up,
Okay.
right? But other people, not
So
that
there's
I've
no
met.
going home late drunk in your house.
Yeah, well, yeah. True, yeah, exactly, and that's probably why I never did it.
It's like, if I breathe in the house, they're gonna hear it. Even if I'm not drunk and I sneeze, I'm fucked.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like this biovariability. That's what
Yeah.
the word is called, right? From person to person.
Biodiversity.
Man, stop confusing.
I'm sorry.
Biovariability means we
You're right.
vary biologically from person to person. And so, but some people can override that with what you just said, will.
Yeah, sheer
Right?
force of will.
Sheer force of will. If you like are that determined, if that mission is in your head,
But
like
who is that determined? Like,
Oh.
all the time.
the internet has given rise to many hyper motivated humans.
But is everything we see on the internet is real?
Yeah, that's what.
Some people can just
Yeah.
Photoshop and like.
But
They're
also,
alive.
if you're on the internet, you're not like what you're showing all the time. Like if you're super hyper in your video or in your photo or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you sleep like that.
They create a persona.
Yeah.
Get to sleep now. Sleep, sleep, sleep. All right. Oh wait.
We get 10 reps of
Wake up!
sleep.
No, you wake up!
We get 3 sets and 10 reps of sleep.
so I don't think it's humanly possible to be like 100% the strongest willed
Determined.
person
Yeah, sure.
in the world all the time.
Yeah. I think that the determination is only like available for the short time, for the short run. Like
Uh-huh.
if you have a goal,
Mhm.
you want to get from 200 pound to 150 pound within these 3 months before the summer begins.
Okay.
Then the determination will have a big effect.
Right.
But if you just let's say do sports for the love of the game,
Mhm.
determination won't be there like for the whole time, for the whole
Come in, Arish.
journey.
Pull up a chair.
Hey.
Hey, whoopa!
Always has to say something.
What are we talking
You will find out in a minute.
about? Alright?
We welcome another member
Yeah.
to our podcast.
And you do the presidential wave. 1, 2.
So, determination.
So yeah, we go back to the example. So if you are like to do sport for the love of the game, determination won't be the crucial fact that lets you get up every morning
Uh-huh.
to do your things. But like as I said, like it only works for the short run, for specific goals, like for specific achievements to be achieved.
I don't know, like here's something like I thought about just now when you said that, is that if I'm about to like go to fucking Brazil on a deep jungle backpacking trip,
Okay.
I'm gonna wake up like 3 days before my flight. Like like I'll be fucking ready, primed to go. Like the moment I buy the ticket, like I buy a ticket 2 months before, I'm gonna be hyper the entire time.
Okay.
And at the same time, if I have this other goal of like I don't know, hitting the beaches,
Whoa!
Here in the mic.
all of that.
or what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, the camera.
Sorry, guys. Over there. You guys, now you know what it's like to do a flip.
That's fine.
Is this good?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Good?
Let's see how
I'm
you
in
look
it?
Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah.
So like yeah, if you have like a goal of like hitting a certain objective within a certain time, like a 6-pack by the summer,
Okay.
that's also a different kind of
So,
motivation,
yeah.
right? So both of these are kind of the same in a way. Like that moment when you're about to wake up, like you tell yourself, I have to fucking go to Brazil. Like I'm about to go to Brazil. The moment I stand up, I'm already gonna be on my way to Brazil. The other one says to the brain, like you have this objective. If you don't go now, you're not gonna hit your deadline,
Okay.
right? So this is the thought that goes in, like when you're about to wake yourself up, right? So these are two types of determination that are kind of the same, no?
Well, you're thinking determination versus motivation, right?
Whatever makes you get up in the morning.
The
Yeah.
Asian.
But I mean, like, come on. If you're going to Brazil,
It's more exciting.
yeah, like how,
Absolutely.
like unless you are someone's sending you there to go in a prison camp, like you're gonna be quite excited.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. But
Right.
both of these will tell your sleepy ass body that you're gonna wake up now. There's no joking about it.
It's true. It's true.
So discipline does come from like sheer force of will, but I think a big part of it is also being motivated about what you're waking up to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
makes sense.
I mean, you could go your entire life trying really hard to wake up every single day to do workout, but you hate workout. That's either gonna take an insane amount of effort out of you, or it's just not gonna happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you're waking up to do something that you love doing, the waking up is gonna happen by itself,
Yeah, sure.
right?
But then on the other hand, there's you know, a lot of it has to do with you know, like I said, motivation, right?
Mhm.
Like fuck, I had a great point.
I almost saw it floating away.
I'm a come back to it.
No, what?
No, so, like,
Don't
keep
go.
going.
You were a good point.
Yeah, but wait. What was your last point again? Tell me
My,
your last point again.
my last point was that in the end of the day, like, it's not just sheer force of will, because humans cannot have that all the time. It's gotta be in
Yeah,
what makes
okay.
you get up.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Habits.
Habit.
Because your habits, like I'm a strong believer that your one habit will lead to your next.
Right.
Right? Like if you smoke today, there's a much higher chance you might smoke tomorrow.
True.
Unless you like break the cycle somehow and form a new habit.
Right.
Right? Like that's why I was, that's why I drink tea in the mornings. For
Right.
example, like I felt myself really liking coffee in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Right? And then
So
your
you
body.
want to break the habit.
And I tried to break the habit and say like, okay, I don't want to be dependent and need coffee for a good mood. In
How
the
did
morning.
that go?
It's okay. It's going okay.
So far, so good?
Right now, I'm taking coffee in the afternoons,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like I don't need it if I don't have it.
Okay.
And that's, I feel as long as I can make this agreement with myself,
Right.
then I can continue forward in like a
Yeah, yeah.
mentally comfortable
Yeah.
type of space. And so I think in the end of the day, when we're talking about these hyper disciplined people, right? Like the first thing that comes to my mind is like American military members,
Uh-huh.
right? These guys, there's a few of them, like really popular ones on social media, and there's one guy on that I follow. His name's Jocko Willing. We might have discussed him at one point. He literally every single day he takes a picture of his watch. 4:34, 4:31, 4:35. Like he always wakes up at 4:30 every day. He's like, let's get, like he has this like balance of energy, and that doesn't happen overnight. Like he didn't wake
You
up
build
when
the habit.
Yeah, you
But
don't.
you
Yeah.
don't build it by not being disciplined. In the end, it is the discipline.
You have to start there, and the commitment. As long as the commitment is there, then discipline will follow after. Like in the military, I think he's a military guy for something like 20 years. When you
Okay.
go this far, this is like cemented.
You force the habit in there.
Yeah, and then there's no way not to do it afterwards because you already recognize the value in it.
And guys like these, they could very well not like the military, right? But but just repeating these patterns makes them into
Depends
habits
on the
too.
guy. I'm sure, like, I would be a liar if I said 100% of all military members could turn into this type of guy, right? Like, there's some. It all depends on how you look at it too, right? Like,
But would you see someone who doesn't like it still gain the benefit of it, like being able to wake up like 4:30 on the dot every day, just because they have done it for literally like years, right? Not necessarily liking it, but they have to do it. It's an obligation. It's their commitment to that thing,
So
right?
it became part of their daily
Right.
days.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. So
But-
the habit builds itself.
I don't know, but I don't think that someone who stayed in the military for 20 years
Doesn't like it. Yeah, he must
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah,
there's like
20
must
years.
Like
See?
it.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
never know.
yeah,
Come on.
but I mean, you
You
don't.
stay in something you hate for 20 years? What?
Yes.
Yeah, be a
Yes.
regular employee,
We'll do this,
Exactly.
right?
yeah.
That's true.
But see, that's like if some, and it goes to what you were doing in your time when nobody's watching. right? Like,
This is a good point.
I don't know if we can discuss that on the stream.
not you. We're talking about military man, 20 years.
You never know.
Yeah,
Maybe
also
you're
that.
right, but also you.
Definitely those two. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you've
You
heard
know,
some stories about the
and-
U.S. military.
And then it goes full circle to that self-talk, right? Like how you
Yeah.
talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what's unique to every single person's
Yeah.
room, every single person's world. It's like how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And the habits that you build will tell you how you talk to yourself and
That's
how you
true.
proceed forward,
That's true.
right?
I'm sure the inner dialogue goes in a different way for you than it does for me, considering the amount of discipline you have, and how I know I deal with discipline. My discipline is like, it works like 7 out of 10 times, whereas for you, I know it's like 9 if not 10. Right, like you're a pretty disciplined guy. I know that. Like you can be used for measurement.
Yeah, I try to be, right? Like, because, like I told you, that goes back to my childhood, right? Like I saw a lot of undisciplined, like lack of discipline in my childhood, like a supreme lack of discipline. And like I said, it just, I didn't form these thoughts at the time, but like as you get older, you have your self experiences, you see things around you, you learn, you read, like, and you find out that there are a lot of like common themes on really successful, healthy people.
Like, how do you, when you talk to yourself, are you like stringent enough? Are you like rigid enough to tell yourself to do something, and you know that yourself will listen?
Yeah. I am like very disciplined with myself.
Okay.
Like I have many voices.
Wow.
Like they,
Oh, shit.
yeah, no, not like
all do.
no, like
This took a turn.
not in that way.
I will be
mean-
with Ikram here in saying that I also have several voices.
Yes,
but-
because they're like
Wait, do they have names? Like, do they
I
have
won't
names?
name them,
Time to
but,
go, I
but
think.
No.
what I meant that we are like deep down different persons, like in one. You're not like
Yes.
only one personality.
Yes.
So there is like the self-indulgent one that
Yeah.
does not like to wake up early.
Okay.
Would like
Very
to
good
miss
point.
Saturday classes,
Very
painting
good.
classes, and sleep in instead.
That's true.
And there is the dissonant voice in me that like more concerned about long-term achievement, long-term goals, how I see myself in like a certain period. And with time, I made the second voice always win. Like not always win, but most of the time.
Yeah.
And but also I give more some chances to the other voice.
Yeah, you some leeway.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Yeah.
be 100% all the time.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a good analogy would be you give a voice to this
Other
speaker,
voice.
or you give the
Yeah.
platform to this
Yes,
speaker.
yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
I
then
have a
sometimes
meeting
you-
with my two voices.
General idea that-
Alright, that's
our
and,
meeting. Let's discuss.
I make a decision and I always try to make the second voice win because I know
Yeah.
long term I will be like it will be more beneficial for my life. Like I try to think, okay, this for example, like we talked about passions, and what I'm doing now is learning painting. Like I say Saturday morning, if I sleep in, I'll be enjoying just 2 hours, like 2 hours in the morning. But if I go and take that painting class, I'll be doing something for my future self. I'll be learning, like improving my skill, and I will be meeting new people, and I will be like
something.
happier long term, like not just long term in the future, but also I'll have a good Saturday, like a good day, that
Yeah.
by the end of the day I'll feel like satisfied, happy about myself, and at ease. But if I just sleep in,
Yeah.
I will not be very happy with myself. And I think
So your disciplined voice is basically saying, "Yo, it's good for everybody. So
Yeah.
let's calm down.
yeah, let's come
wake
together,
up.
let's yeah.
All right.
But waking up, like for example, wake up at 5 a.m. For me, in the morning, most of the time, the first voice wins.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's
So-
extreme here.
Yeah.
The first voice is
saying no.
self-indulgent. Yes, let's
Oh, yeah.
sleep.
Alright.
Yeah.
But
My-
today the first voice didn't win.
Yeah.
Yes, because I like to watch the sunrise.
Yeah.
So you basically woke up today for a goal.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
you're a goal-oriented person.
I would say yes.
I wouldn't also generalize it, you know? Like you can't say you're this kind of
Yeah, I
this
mean-
kind of person. Like you can't be this all the time or this all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
It
And
really mixes
the
it.
thing
There's
that-
days where you want to sleep in, you really fucking want to sleep
No,
in, and you'll do those.
It's
Yeah.
like that you're telling yourself, okay, I want to sleep more now, but I'm gonna wake up because why? That's you need to ask the question.
Yeah, why?
Why are you doing this?
And also there is the lifestyle. Like, do you want to have a certain lifestyle or not? For me, a lifestyle with waking up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. it's not for me, at least for now. So for me, waking up at 6:30 or like 7, depending on what I have, like work
Yeah.
or study, like or when I start
Yeah,
working,
because-
is like this is suitable for me for now.
Because you don't have the answer to that question, which is why.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
Why I wake
Yeah,
up
exactly.
at 5?
Yeah.
Okay, I can today wake up at 5, but what should I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From 5 to
Yeah,
7
sure.
or from 5
Yeah,
to 8.
Like 3 years ago, this would not have made any sense to me. Like,
Yes.
why the fuck would I wake up at 4? Like,
Yeah.
to do what?
Yeah.
Now, like the fact that my dogs have so much fun in the morning and I get that time of peace and quiet before
Yeah.
everything is the biggest
You
motivation
have a
ever.
reason to wake up.
Exactly, there's a good reason there. And like that's the thing here. Like it's the motivation is really what you like to do. It's very interesting to like get to the bottom of what makes you get up in the morning, which is like a very common expression in English to say like, why do you get up? Why do you put your pants on? That's like
That's a very
Wow.
good question.
I don't think it's very different. In the end of the day, you put your pants on for the things you care about.
You hear that, guys? Put your pants on for what you care about.
I think, yeah.
That's why Abdel puts on his pants.
That's true,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there were periods of time where I did not put pants on because I just didn't care. Like, why the fuck would I do it? Like, you're not leaving the house, right? You're not leaving the house, you're not going anywhere.
Glad you care now.
That's a good shot here.
Glad you care.
We're all quite happy.
Yeah.
I think the world
And
thanks
we
you.
hope
Yeah.
it's gonna stay that way.
Yeah. But I would like to go to your point about habits, like building habits and the way we talk to ourselves. And I think many people do not get like to the point of revisiting their lives or like their habits to improve, or like if many people like live on autopilot.
Yeah.
Like they have these habits that they acquire,
Yeah.
or like
A lifestyle out of it.
yeah, with like how they were brought up by their families, their group of friends, and their circle, and then they continue most of their lives living that way,
Automatically, yeah.
Yeah.
doing like living according to those specific habits.
Yeah.
But if you like, we get the habit, or we get like to the point when we can have a transparent, like honest talk with ourselves, we can change, we can like improve.
That's true. I think that really sums up like every talk we've gotten into, is that ability to address yourself, to look at yourself, to have that conversation, and
know
to
what you want exactly.
exactly
Yeah.
to talk to yourself by your passion.
Right,
Yeah.
versus just going through the motions and not
Yeah.
thinking carefully
Exactly,
about what's
exactly.
happening on
Exactly.
a day-to-day basis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's,
And I think
yeah.
I
Go
think
ahead.
many people are more action oriented than thought oriented.
Yeah.
They just like they want to do and do and do and do, and they don't think why they do these things, if they are like beneficial or not for themselves or like other people, like their lives.
Look,
Maybe this is related to our traditional education system, you know?
well, that's a big topic to get into.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, also, it's important to understand that nobody is one way 100% of the time.
Exactly.
Like
Yes.
there are things that as humans we have to go through, just going through the motions. We cannot give 100% of our focus to everything that we do.
Yeah.
Right? Some stuff we're just on autopilot,
Just gotta
and
let
to,
it go.
to try and sit at some point and talk to yourself about what you're doing, once for every activity that you do, or once for every, or all the time for your passions or whatever. You just have to have that conversation, that inner dialogue. And well, those who don't do it at all, unfortunately, like they
Doomed to a life of mediocrity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Good save. So that's where we will close up.
That's where we wrap it up.
Alright.
Thank you all for being here.
Yeah.
This was a
welcome.
great conversation.
Yeah.
We didn't even see the
uh,
time passing.
And just so we finish on everybody's names, just go ahead and go.
Yassine.
Yassine, Kevin.
Jessica.
Oh.
It is.
Patricia.
Oh, that was my other voice. Sorry. And Abdel.
Abdel, Jessica, and then.
Ikram. And both of my voices named Ikram.
Oh shit, that's convenient. I should have thought about that.
And I have other voices, but let's not discuss.
They won't be discussed.
That's for another podcast.
Yes,
Yes.
that's one of the episodes.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it
Yes.
up. Thank
Remember
you.
to put pants on and talk to yourself.
Yes. Put pants on and talk to yourself.
Put on
Good one.
your pants, guys.
That will be the title of this video.
Yeah.
Put
Put
on.
pants on and talk to
Talk
yourself.
to yourself.
Put pants on, talk to yourself.
Nice.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you, everybody. It was a lovely, lovely conversation.
That is great. That is great. That's the best title anybody could have ever come up with. Thank you, Kra. Great input.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye.